Oh, it's been a while since I've done something like this, huh? I've been thinking lately. As per usual, there have been a bunch of things in my mind, and I just want to talk a little bit about it. I have a bunch of stuff to read here, and I think it is important. It is a topic that comes up again and again, and I think it is quite important. So let's stop this music. Let's start different music. Okay, it has a little bit of a startup, but it works. It's pretty good. Okay. I'm looking at stuff here. Alright. Is this working? Oh my god. Is this working? Yeah, it is. I don't know, man. Sometimes I see things here behind the screens. It appears to be. Sometimes it seems that everything is broken, but no, it still works. Nevertheless, that makes me a little bit iffy, a little bit worried, you know. Anyway, gatekeeping your hobbies. Yeah, I think it's important. I think it's extremely necessary, especially nowadays, right? We have seen explosive growth in many hobbies that are usually, well, were usually quite niche, and it's, in my opinion, usually not good. So I have a bunch of stuff here to read, just to get into the mood, and then I will keep giving my stupid ass opinion about things. So here we have from globaledge.msu.edu blog post from September this year. The gaming industry sees a staggering surge in popularity. Yep. I read a bunch of stuff like this the past few days, and they go to say, oh yeah, it's because of the lockdowns, you know. I think the lockdowns were important in the past 3 years, but this has been a thing for almost a decade. So yeah, it is a little bit hard to find like actual stuff that talks about the past 10 years. But I was here. I remember stuff. So, oh my god. Let me take a sip of my water first. I'm a little thirsty as per usual. At least I managed to not be absolutely dead today, which is an improvement. So we have the gaming industry sees staggering surge in popularity. As the rate that games are being developed that increases each day, the gaming industry shows no sign of slowing down anytime soon. Although the pandemic prevented many gaming companies from developing new products, it helped the industry see a surging many new gamers entering the market, leading up to the present day. Which is... it is fair, I don't think this is false. But I don't think it's just this, right? Experts are seeing a rapid increase in the number of people playing games, with a staggering 3.38 billion people worldwide in 2023. That's a lot. That's a lot of people. As for the global market itself, experts predict 187.7 billion in revenue from the gaming industry this year, according to Newzoo. Large video game companies, both abroad and in the United States, such as Activision Blizzard and Riot Games, are experiencing this growth firsthand. Activision. Yeah, that's something else. That's something else, man. Yeah, I'm seeing another numbers, and they were saying like 230 billion this year, which seemed a little bit too much, but in comparison, not that far. Countries like Ireland have started to build the industry on the esports market, as many of it for professional gamers or even play to become a professional themselves. However, it's more than just the esports market thriving in Ireland. The game developing aspect has also flourished, allowing many studios coming into the scene to sell products. An example includes Irish game developers Steve Collins and Hugh Reynolds, who created Havoc Games, which was sold in 2018 to Intel. If you guys for once stopped selling your fucking studios to make a corpos, things would be a little bit better. Mega corpo hate. Much of their technology is still implemented in video games today. Part of Ireland's success in the gaming industry can also be attributed to their government's protection of intellectual property laws, bringing talented game developers to the country from all over the world. Which is okay. Which is okay. Okay, is this properly corrupt? Yes, it is. I checked before, but I do not trust myself. Also, I think esports are quite a plague for gaming. Oh, but they bring a lot of eyes. Oh, but a lot of money. Yeah. And also, they feel that they promote the worst practices in gaming. I understand that games are just a bunch of numbers. It's just a thing of numbers. Okay? I know, I understand. But just wanting to min-max absolutely everything every single time because you have to be number one is the most fucking boring thing ever. And yes, I do believe that League of Legends is the main culprit in this. Not the only one, but we cannot deny its importance here. When it comes to gaming production overall, it is possible to overlook Japan, obviously, whose massive gaming audience grows by the day. Based on the revenue, Japan constitutes the third largest gaming industry in the world, and will have no issues maintaining their status as large companies like Nintendo continue to develop games high in sales volume. However, it's not just console games that are experiencing substantial success. The world of PC gaming is also taking Japan by storm, leading up to 60 million active users to be active online. The country has always embraced the game marketing its culture since the 70s, which keeps increasing as new games get released and new buyers enter to play. Also true. However, as per usual, I want to say a bunch of stuff already, right? Large companies, Japan, yes, but also many companies that had their headquarters in Japan moved to California. I don't like that. I do not like that. That's horrible. We've seen that several times. The main one that comes to mind to me right now, Square Enix. And we all know Square Enix in the past, like, what, 5 years? Yeah, and not good. I don't like it. I don't like it, and it's getting worse. It is getting worse because they're heavily censoring a bunch of stuff. Fuck that. I do not like that one. That's also part of gatekeeping to a certain extent. Uh, I, I think this is actually a really complex topic. We could go several different ways, to be fair. Where was I? Here. With the gaming industry's recent popularity comes large corporations seeking to get hold of the industry. Yeah, big corporate hate. Sean Layden, former CEO and president of Sony Interactive Entertainment America, Sony, also called Sony lately. I wonder why. California hate. Spoke up at the Game Industry.biz investment summit in Seattle. Seattle, what a fucking joke. Right now, we see all the big players going, "Oh, gaming! It's bringing in billions of dollars a year. I want a piece of that." Lennon said. And so we have Google, Netflix, Apple, and Amazon wanted to get a piece and trying to disrupt our industry. Netflix. Netflix in games. I don't understand. I don't understand. Yes, they want a piece of the pie, but why Netflix? That's something I don't get it. That's something I don't understand. I'm saying how Netflix is pushing games into their platform, and I'm like, okay, but what is this going to be? A worse Steam or worse Stadia? Or a worse mix of the worst part of both? I don't know. Doesn't make any sense to me. I'm over real. It's Netflix, so I hope they fail. Letting also note that the music and movie industries have fallen sharply because of Apple TV and other streaming services. Many companies aim to become involved in the gaming industry. Others that have had a long history with the market, such as Sony, hope to hold their own without depending on newer entries. With all this in mind, the gaming industry is predicted to rise exponentially in popularity worldwide. It will continue to evolve as new technologies, genres, and target markets arise. Okay. Two... oh, excuse me. I'm dying a little bit here. Two major issues I have with this. Music and movie industries fallen sharply because of Apple TV and other streaming services. I don't think that is true. They have fallen? Maybe, I don't know. Movies, yeah. Music, I don't really know. But it's not because of Apple TV or streaming services. It's because they're trash. They're absolute trash. They have no redeeming qualities. Have you seen movies in the past 10 days? Years. Please. Years. They're horrible. You have the Disney monopoly, which is pretty much every movie we release is just Marvel. And it's so bad. And they lost, how much was it again? Like $500 billion this year? Just because their movies are bad? Yeah, it's not because of streaming. I'm over real. Also, it will continue to evolve as new technologies, genres, and target markets arise. New technologies? Sure. Genres? Maybe, I guess, I don't know. Target markets? I don't like it. This to me sounds a lot like the usual, "Oh, but the modern audiences, they don't exist. They don't buy the games." That never happens. I remember, I don't know exactly when that was, but it has been a while, right? When they were releasing Battlefield 5, I think? Before they released it, when they were just announcing it, revealing it, all the good stuff. It was... I want to say, I'm not quite sure, I want to say it was 2017. It's been 6 years. This has been happening way before that, but I feel that that point was when it was kinda breaking point, and I couldn't stop looking at that bullshit happening, right? It was... I don't remember a lot, it's been a hot fucking minute, you know? But yeah, it was that stuff about, oh yeah, we need to add some women soldiers here. Because look, it's the disabled woman fighting in World War II. And people were like, what do you mean by this? It doesn't make any sense. I might be mixing with another Battlefield. I might be mixing it. But it was still Battlefield. And that criticism was still quite valid, in my opinion. You also had the, oh yeah, this is based on real events. Really. but that is not true. And of course, it was not just the narrative, which I think it's important to some extent, right? It was new game has less stuff than older game. You have less content, you have less game modes. It is bad, right? It is gamed by default. What are you planning to sell to me? All the stuff as new stuff with expensive DLC? I don't know. I don't know what happened after that. I'm not a Battlefield fan, so I wasn't really paying attention. But yeah, yeah, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good at all. Let's be real. There are many problems here, and I think the modern audiences is just a massive gulf. I will probably get into that later. I don't have any link open for that, but I remember a couple of things. When remakes and remasters fuck royally. Okay, where do I want to go now? I have a bunch of different links here. It's a little bit of a mix here. Let's go with this one. I found this one to be a little bit interesting, even if it was a little bit different from the usual. Of course, my hobbies would be gaming, anime, the mangoes, some music to some extent. I think music is really affected by this, not the type of music I listen to. But I thought this was interesting, right? I have this from last year, November last year. TikTok is gentrifying my hobbies, experiences, and it comes to show, right? Something that I think it's really important for this, which would be the identification of hobbies, the massification of hobbies, and how everything ends up being really watered down. Let's be real. Let's be real. Humans are tribalistic by nature, and I don't think that is something necessarily bad. It depends on the context, right? It really depends on the context. But we're not really prepared to deal with thousands of people or even millions of people like we do nowadays with social media. So I understand wanting to have a niche hobby. I think that's okay. I do that a lot, right? Especially years ago, I had my hobbies that I have with my friends and my hobbies that I have for me alone. And it feels weird when they mix a little bit, right? So let's see. TikTok trends have a gentrification problem and have become toxic, have replaced low-income people out of hobbies that were once accessible for them. This has a little bit of the economic point of view. I don't think they're wrong, but it's not my main focus. It is still a thing. And thanks to TikTok, thrift stores are no longer a place for low-income people to buy good clothes for cheap. Thrift stores are being gouged and raided by teenagers to sell vintage clothing on apps like Depop and Grail. I don't know what they are, I just expect them to be reselling. There are a million of those. Showing off their hauls in viral videos. Many thrift stores now sell the second-hand goods for exorbitant prices, especially vintage graphic t-shirts. Oddly specific, but I believe it. Okay, great thrifting is no longer a cheap way to get nice clothes, and most thrift stores have increased their prices significantly, with many stores now selling popular used clothes for well over $100. And used clothes over $100, thrift stores. I don't know where this person is from, but I'd say that it's probably more expensive than buying something new, which is absolutely wild. It is absolutely fucking wild. Thrifting hauls are massively popular on TikTok. The hashtag thrifting has over 6.1 billion views, on the platform, with similar hashtags having incredibly insane popularity on the app. I don't like TikTok either. I'm an old man, I don't care. There's an endless sea of teenagers and millennials showing off their hauls full of bags, bags of thrifted clothes. It's a far cry from the days I used to go to local thrift stores because there was a huge selection of cheap and real-looking clothes everywhere you looked. Yeah, you need to keep your secrets about the good stuff. People gotta know. Nowadays, most thrifting consists of endlessly sorting through clothing rags and either finding nothing good in their store, or every good item is almost selling for its original retail price. This reminds me a little bit of places like GameStop or similar stores. Oh yeah, secondhand games. How expensive are they? They're just like $5 shy of a new game. Oh, fuck it then. I was here. Clothing is only the tip of the nasty trend of TikTok, making things more expensive. Massification is a fucking problem. Because massification plays on the usual rules of economy. What was it again? Oh my god, I'm scrambled a little bit here. Oh yeah, the law of offer and demand, right? A lot of people are looking for something, but there's no more offer than before, so prices skyrocket. It can be a massive problem here. I'm over real. Photography, which is already an expensive hobby, has become even more ridiculously priced. Film photography became a massive trend since the pandemic. Everyone mentions the pandemic here, except the thing I have open because it's from before the pandemic. Oh man, we're going from before and after Christ to before and after the pandemic, I swear to God. Many people were stuck indoors looking for new creative outlets. I don't know. Well, I don't know. I'm real, I don't know, but I don't feel like being indoors and photography meshed that well. They could, I guess. Its popularity has turned what used to be a cheap and fun way to shoot photos into a worldwide phenomenon. Let's be real, photography was always expensive. Okay. I remember people years ago like, oh yeah, I want to get into photography. Like, good photography as a hobby? You're going to spend a lot of money. So, in the end, people end up using their phones a lot. And to be fair, phone cameras nowadays, they're really good. They're really good. Especially some of the I want to believe iPhone. I want to justify that extremely high price in some way. And surprisingly Sony, I think. But yeah, always expensive. Now it's even worse. This because the display of film simply isn't built for its sudden massive explosion in use. Just what I said. Just what I said. Most camera stores can restock color film, and when it's available, it is exponentially more expensive than what it used to cost. Fujifilm announced last April the cost of their film would be increased by 25% in North America. This follows a announcement from Kodak. Kodak Gold 200, a popular consumer film which used to run $10 for a pack of 3, can now usually be found for almost 12 for a pack of only 1. That's a lot of money. Kodak and Fujifilm, the world's largest producer of camera film, can't keep up with the current demand of people. Kodak announced that it is hiring new film technicians for the first time in 20 years because of its unprecedented popularity, according to a tweet from the film manufacturer. TikTok has surprised thousands of photographers from shooting film. The new trend has become digital cameras, which emulate the classic look of it, as a cheaper and more practical option. Yeah, but if it's a cheap option and it works, it's gonna get through too. Yeah. Fujifilm X100V, a classic-style digital camera, became a massively popular camera because of influencers on TikTok showing their audience its capabilities of taking photos that resemble the look of film photography. I ate too much a little bit. A little bit too much, maybe. Because of this, the camera quickly turned into a small phenomenon, and Fujifilm had to make an official press release stating that orders really exceeded current production, as it always happens. Almost overnight, prices on the camera almost doubled, from about 1,000 to almost 2.5 thousand K, 2.5 thousand bucks, not K. That would be too much. It became almost impossible to find online and became a full errand to find in any brick-and-mortar retailer. It's a huge increase, man, and it was not cheap. It was not cheap before, but holy fuck. TikTok somehow made both forms of photography more expensive for everyone, especially hurting low-income people that rely on cheapest gear to keep up with their hobby. Yep. Use cameras as a whole have increased in price to keep up with demand, which hurts photographers who rely on new gear to be cheap and plentiful. You said the same thing twice here. And because people want to be cool for their audience on the internet, more and more cameras are becoming unavailable to those who are made of money. Yeah, trying to be cool for the internet, that's something I really don't like, which is a little bit funny, given the context. Yeah, the irony is not lost here. Even things that aren't hobbies have been over-popularized by social media trends. The fans at concerts have also absolutely decreased in quality, thanks to many artists and bands blowing up on TikTok through video clips and memes. Sounds stupid, but I still believe it. It is current year, it is TikTok. It is stupid enough to be true. Nobody knows how to much respectfully anymore. I've seen teenagers almost step on people who fell in the pit. Your safety is incredibly important, but seemingly has become overlooked in recent years. I don't think this is necessarily because of a lot of people are doing this. It's just stupid kids that don't know anything, probably. Let's be real. Kids? Stupid. All of them. When I was a kid? Stupid. Absolutely. Now I'm older? A little bit less stupid, I hope. But yeah. I guess this is just teenagers being dumb, but having a big influx of people also doesn't help. I understand. With the way crowds have been at shows lately, I'm scared of another incident like Travis Scott's Afterworld Festival. I have no idea about this. It has an article by NPR. It's probably true, it's probably correct, I don't know. I'm ignorant. I'm not real. Where 8 people died because of a massive crash at the front of the stage, according to this article. I don't need to look into that. I believe it. We're talking about something different today. Not even get me started on the amount of people getting onto the stage at shows in recent months. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But I don't think this is just because a lot of people, once again, I believe this is just because of stupid people. To be fair, once again, you get a big influx of people, you will get a big influx of stupid people too. It's just the statistics. But of course, they just want their minute of glory. They want to go viral on social media or whatever. They're just making a fool of themselves. It is sad. It is quite sad. It's going to happen still. Everybody apparently forgot what the phrases personal hygiene, personal space, or basic respect are, because every time I'm seeing an event that went viral on TikTok, the crowd was horrendous. I don't know, I think this is just blaming the mass. Which is the mass's problem, I agree. But how do I say this? It's not the correct perspective, perhaps. Right? It's because of the mass, but not because it's viral, but because people are stupid. Maybe they go hand in hand. I don't know. The amount of middle school and early high school students are now seeing concerts for the first time is starting to absolutely ruin the quality of live shows while also gouging the price of them. Once again, stupid kids. It's going to happen. In the last year, instant concert tickets increased in price exponentially, especially for bands. Last August, Ticketmaster started trending on Twitter as backlash to outrageous ticket prices. Prices for concert tickets have tripled since the mid-90s, adjusted for inflation, according to Time magazine article. I believe it. I believe it. Now, I do believe this is quite correct for what we were talking about, the massification of the hobbies. So, once again, we go back, a lot of people, a lot of money, and that's not something good necessarily. The mass of people. It being more expensive, it's not good. Period. Sometimes it feels like you can barely keep up with all of the trends, thanks to TikTok, and constantly in fear of what will become the next popular thing. Do the same. Do the same. I'm real. Do the same. One app single-handedly made me afraid of things becoming popular. People on social media need to learn how to behave, and that chasing trends is not worth it when it makes experiences worse for everyone. Absolutely true. Absolutely true. I might disagree with a bunch of things in the middle. I think the conclusion here, correct, 100%. Trend chasing? Holy fuck, it's so annoying. It's so annoying. I have examples of that. I can bring them up later, if need be. If people don't trust me, why would they? Why would they trust me? Anyway. And now here I have a Forbes article. I thought it was quite interesting to have something like this in Forbes from 2022, last year, almost 2 years. It's January after all. Fans are gatekeeping anything, aren't gatekeeping anything. They're just wary of would-be dictators trying to take over their hobbies. I think this Oli Barder guy is a little bit ignorant of what is going on, but I don't think he's entirely wrong here either. We have a picture of Japan, as suspected. One of the strangest phenomena that keeps on popping up these days is the inaccurate accusation that fans are somehow gatekeeping their hobbies. They're trying to sometimes, but I think that can be quite positive, even for the hobby itself. Firstly, this is actually impossible to do, and secondly, there's more going on here than first appears. It is possible. It is possible. If you take into account that balling through the internet is an actual thing, gatekeeping, it can be a thing. It can be a thing. It can be, at least. According to Merriam-Webster, gatekeeper is either someone who tends to or guards a gate, or a person who controls access to something. The accusation in this instance obviously applies to the latter, I mean. And regardless, fans are incapable of controlling access to their hobbies, but before I get to that, here's a bit of a fun history lesson. It is true that fans are incapable of controlling access to their hobbies, but they can still ostracize people in their hobbies. That is part of gatekeeping. Take a specific example, in the case of anime, back in the day, many anime were not available outside of Japan. This meant if you wanted to watch something like Division of Esflowne, it's an old one. I don't remember much of this one, sadly. It's been a half fucking minute. You joined an anime club, attended its meetings, and acquired fans-out versions of the anime on VHS tapes. This meant the people in charge of say anime club could actually gatekeep when it came to a fans' access to anime. In the decades since, animes such as Escaflowne are now widely available on Blu-ray and also on various streaming services, not only in Japan, but also internationally as well. But simply, if you're a current anime fan, then there's no one gatekeeping you from acquiring various anime works and enjoying them as a hobby. You need to befriend the high-ups in an enemy club. You can just buy it and watch it whenever and wherever you want. Buy it? Sure. Sure. Let's go with that. Also, yes, it is true that if you're a current fan of whatever, you can acquire them. That doesn't mean you cannot gatekeep, though. I think this guy is missing the point a little bit about gatekeeping. I hate to use the term, but communities, right? Communities. I think they're thrown around a lot, and most of the time, when they say communities, it's just actually demographics. It's not the same at all. It is quite different, as you might expect, because they're different words, right? But in this case, I really mean community. And yes, you can, and let's be real, you should gatekeep them. You should try to have a quote-unquote proper culture in your quote-unquote fandom. I say fandom, I say community. Pick, just choose and pick, whichever you prefer. Because if you don't, it can be quite a shit show. We all have seen the blood sports on social media. Every week, you have someone crucified on social media because some sort of bullshit or some sort of tone deaf opinion, right? You have gatekeepers from both sides. We will get to that later too. I think that's really important too. Yeah, we read all of that. The same goes for arcade building, video games, and pretty much all the hobbies out there. Unless there is someone physically limiting access to the host media, gatekeeping is not taking place. So why are certain people claiming that fans are gatekeeping their hobbies? Well, this is a bit more involved, and it's not so much about the hobbies in question, but more about controlling various fandoms. Yes, that's the point. Using controlling can feel a little bit too on the nose, a little bit dangerous maybe, but it can be done properly. We can go back to months ago when I was talking about Confucianism, right? I think I need to draw comparisons here, but it could be funny. It could be funny if we did. Going back to my anime example, when I originally got into anime all those decades ago, the size of the international fandom was relatively small. International fandom. Fandom. I guess fandom is technically correct, but this implies an international community that might not exist. Maybe not back in the day, maybe not now, maybe it doesn't mean what you think it means. These days though, anime is a global pop cultural phenomenon and I fucking hate that. I don't like normies. Normies destroy absolutely everything. Because they only have surface knowledge. And that's horrible. Because they don't understand. They don't understand anything usually, right? But it's a case of I like this because either a superficial reason or because it's popular. So you want to be cool too. Both are horrible, horrendous, and they should be destroyed. You should like something because there's something in that you like. So yeah, the first one, even if it's a shallow interest, at least it is somewhat a truthful interest. But holy shit, if you like something, maybe you should dig a little bit into that too. And just rambling at this point, what else is new? Where was I? Here. This means there are a lot of anime fans out there, and the fandom itself is consequently influential in industrial and cultural sense. True, and I hate it because this is so fucking dangerous. Wasn't it Sword of the Lane's author that started to change things because Western backlash, and let's be real, a stupid ass backlash from social media. Because people are fucking stupid, as per usual. People don't understand what they read, people don't understand what they get into. Do I have to mention also lolly stuff in anime? We have blood sports about that constantly in social media. Okay. And I find it so funny. And you have people being like, no, no, this is so dangerous, this is actual pedophilia. And it's like, no, it's not. No, it's not. And they end up coming out as pedophiles themselves. Or when you have people like, no, but anime shouldn't be like this. And I'm like, okay, but why do I have to listen to your opinion when I've been watching anime more time that you have been alive? That doesn't make any sense to me, right? It doesn't make any sense to me. It is quite ignorant, after all. The accusations of gatekeeping are being used to leverage access to effectively run each fandom and acquire powers as a result. Somewhat correct. Somewhat correct. Yes, somewhat correct. I can agree to that. This is why there's a great deal of pushback from fans on this. Not because they want to stop people from watching anime or enjoying other hobbies, but to make sure these hobbies remain open to all and not send into some kind of dictatorship. I have another blog post that's just the exact opposite of this. I don't think hobbies should be open to all. I'm over real. Well, that sounds extremely wrong when I say it like that. I don't think everyone should enjoy every single fandom. I don't think every single hobby should appeal to every single person. And that is fine. That is correct. And if you don't like a hobby, you should try to look for a new hobby instead of trying to change it. Why? Because these hobbies are probably pretty old. Let's say, I don't know, Dungeons and Dragons. Dungeons and Dragons, if I'm not mistaken, has been around since the 70s. It is now the 20s. Let's say 50 years. And now you have new people that know yak shit about it and are like, no, no, this is racist, no, no, this is wrong, you have to change it. And of course, we have the Grand Wizards of the Coast are absolutely cocked that KB constantly. No, no, we can have evil races, but their god made them evil. No, 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 shut up, not anymore. Because orcs are actual black people for some reason, even if you have black humans in D&D, it was always a thing. I don't understand. No, 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 you can have negative attributes on your races. That is absolutely racist. I mean, what do you mean by this? Huh? No, 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 you cannot say orcs are dumb because they're black people. What do you mean? Orcs are black people. I don't understand. Black people are human, orcs are not. We call them races, but we could call them also species, and it would probably a little bit more correct. I don't know, man, I don't know. If they're different species, yes, it is fair to say some of them might have different brain power. It is safe to say that orcs, or half-orcs, or dwarves, are usually bulkier and stockier than humans, so it makes sense for them to have greater strength and or constitution. That's fine. Have you seen elves? They're usually pretty thin, they're usually pretty agile. They're most of the time they're usually archers or magicians. It makes sense for them to have either high dexterity or intelligence, or innate magical powers. It's not racist at all. It is a fucking game. It's not real. What the fuck do you mean by this? a bunch of stuff I don't really understand, man. But they keep giving it. Each edition seems more well done than the last, and I think that's good. Oh, real. Dungeons and Dragons, I finally played 5th edition, and that is partially because we couldn't trust some of our other friends to learn something a little bit more complex than that, which is a little bit baffling. But you know, I read a little bit about 3.5, and it looks cool as fuck. A little bit more complex, from what I read. More complex in general, right? And that sounds really cool. I'm real. But yeah, you have to appeal to a big audience, you know what happens. You have to appeal to the lowest common denominator. That means everything has to be made simple. That happens in D&D, but that happens in TTRPGs in general, games, so on and so forth. Games and video games, I mean, obviously. With those changes that are like, no, this is quality of life. That is not quality of life, that is making the game easier. You should know. You should know. But you don't. This way, there's a great deal of pushback from fans on this. Not because they want to stop people from watching anime or enjoying other hobbies, but to make sure these hobbies remain open to... Oh yeah, I read this already, fuck. Leadership is cool. Gatekeep normies, fuck 'em. The reality is that fans love having people they can talk to in depth about their hobby. This kind of involved and most extended discussion of a hobby is actually what keeps various fandoms ticking along. Yes. In depth. I don't think most people, or most newer fans of something, have any interest about the depth of the hobby itself. That's the fucking problem. They usually have shallow interest. Not all of them, let's be real. There's always actual fans, actual new fans out there. But they usually have shallow interests as just a way of being popular on social media and whatever. If you're an actual fan, and if you want to understand your hobbies in depth, this is not about you. This is not about you. You're an actual fan. You have a genuine interest in this. We have to point out the differences so people understand. This means it's not in the interest of fans to limit access to what they care about, and if people are genuinely curious about the hobby, then fans almost always tend to offer their help and say, this is correct. Once again, genuinely curious about the hobby. Yes, that's the important part. However, when you see someone online or even in the real world accuse a fan of gatekeeping, it's more likely that said accuser is not interested at all in that hobby and is actually power hungry with be a dictator that wants to rule said fandom with an iron fist. True. Absolutely true. We've seen this a lot, recently especially. Probably because of the advent of social media, right? It's really easy to see a bunch of fucking stupid stuff in real time. And sometimes I'm for it. Sometimes it's just like, why do I have to be alive with these people in the same planet? A little bit insane sometimes, a little bit insane. Okay, alright. I need to update my OBS, by the way. I need to remember to update it later. Is that like, oh yeah, I bring it and... you went to update just before stream? No, just in case now. It's been twice already. I have another blog post. Yeah, it says, I can be seen here, from ishk.moe. I don't mention the TikTok source. It is sjsunews.com. This is an opinion piece from 2019. It's been almost 5 years, holy fuck. Gatekeeping isn't evil, it's necessary. In a absolute library. Let me get my water here. I've been talking a lot. My throat is a little bit... It's not hurting, but it's like... full of phlegm, maybe. It is thick. It is thick. Like a community level, most dangerous mentality to internalize is one that wholeheartedly vilifies gatekeeping. It's a counterintuitive point, but it makes sense when explained fully. In geek, nerd, and niche culture, gatekeeping refers to fans within a community, usually older, more experienced fans, imposing standards upon others, usually newcomers, not newcomers. Newcomers is what we have in Twitch right now. Holy shit. They must be met before being accepted into the community. Yes, correct. Standards. It's all about the standards. Let's try to stop bastardizing hobbies that we enjoy. Please. In the past several years, this behavior has come under attack, and rightfully so. Bitter and spiteful nerds, still sour from years of ostracism from mainstream social conventions, chose to use the gatekeeping paradigm abusively to try and enforce homogeneity within their communities. Which, to be fair, it makes sense to a certain extent. The forums are important, I will say. It's more explained here. They had the opportunity to enforce on others the same arbitrary social standards that they had failed to navigate, and not only took that opportunity, but rebuilding it. Not entirely true. I don't think this is the case necessarily, once again. Let's see. Yeah, let's read this first. Suddenly, every female trained into the geek community became subject to a litany of quiz questions, meant to gauge her level of random trivia knowledge, and earning the label of fake geek girl should she fail to match up to their level of arbitrary, obscure fact retention. It is a well-known narrative. The old guard had internalized social ostracism as an intrinsic part of the experience of being a geek, and so were primed to reject certain groups, women for example, from their spaces right off the bat. Honestly, you cannot blame them. You cannot blame them. All of this here. Let's be real. If you have a group of people that ostracizes you to be outside, completely exiled of the usual social norms, and you build your own community of similar people, then it would be counterintuitive to let those people that ostracize you first into the group. You know they're going to fuck you up. You know they're not into the same stuff as you. Once again, it depends on the forums. It depends on the way of doing things. It depends if the target is actually one of these people, or if it's an actual geek, nerd, whatever in this case, right? It's quite funny. They react certain groups, women for example, from their spaces right off the bat. Well, it makes sense. Once again, usually back in the day, it was pretty common that it was women that ostracized the nerds. Why would you open yourself to get fucked over for free? Again, I'm not saying every woman, okay? I'm saying every woman. Absolutely, that's not what I'm saying. But you have to understand where they're coming from, at least. You have to share it. You have to be like, oh yeah, that's fair, but it is understandable. As a result, once this behavior was beaten back, geek culture as a whole took up a... also, before reading this, we cannot forget, especially 10 years ago, around 2012, 2013, the... how do we call them? Fake gamer girls? Let's call them fake gamer girls. There were a lot of them around, like, oh, look at me, I'm so nerdy, I'm so gamer. And they were fucking normies. Okay? They were fucking normies. Not all of them. Not all of them. But if their main thing was trying to draw attention to them as, oh, look at me, gamer girl. They were probably normies, they were probably posers. Okay? It was just because at that point it became mainstream. So, oh, I wanted to be popular too. Fuck off. Fuck off, kindly. As a result, once this behavior was beaten back, geek culture as a whole took up a hurling stance against any instance of gatekeeping. It became all about inclusion. Disgusting. Disgusting. The thought process being that being ostracized feels bad, and all geeks know how it feels to be ostracized, so geeks have no right to ostracize others. Wrong. Wrong. Because you're going to be ostracized from your own fucking fandom, community, hobby, bullshit. We've seen that. We've seen that. When they tell you, no, but video games are for everyone. And you have to say, well, video games are for everyone. Correct, because everyone should have access to them. But that doesn't mean that every single game should appeal to every single fucking person. I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you. People that want an easy mode in Dark Souls. But it is discrimination because we're not that good. We don't have time. Well, that's your fucking problem, isn't it? That's your fucking problem. Simple as. The problem is that they extend this to all levels. There are two kinds of gatekeeping. There are people who gatekeep to maintain the core elements of a fandom or community, and there are people who gatekeep to try and force everyone in fandom or community to be like them. The problem is, both kinds think they are the first kind. To be fair, even the first kind, by definition, is also the second kind, right? I don't know how to properly explain this, or if I'm making sense even. But if you try to maintain the core elements of a fandom or community, to some extent, people in the fandom or community have to be to be like you. Not necessarily you, absolutely you, in every way, but they need to have the same values, quote unquote values that are applicable to the fandom slash community in this case. It's as we read before, right? Imposing standards. Technically, when you impose standards, you're making people be like you, because you're following standards. That's not wrong. I understand what they're trying to say, but the wording fails at it. It's what the Forbes article said. Forbes? I think the E is silent actually. I'm not sure. There are a bunch of silent E's in English and I don't really understand the point. I'm going to blame the French, as per usual. What else is new here? But yeah, one thing is being a narcissistic piece of shit, and another different thing is having standards. One can be misconstrued as the other. I think that is the whole point. Phantom Space display has the number of incredibly insecure people who see the presence of people different from them as an affront. If they want to change the hobby, if they want to change the fandom, if they want to change the community, because whatever bullshit, they are right. And you should be careful with your people in all of this. Because sooner or later, you're going to get people that want to change stuff. And they should get kicked out. Simple as. It's a wide range of people like this. The male fan, quick to level accusations of fake nerd girl at any female in fandom space. Are there people like this? Is this still a thing? I guess. I had to say I haven't seen that much, but I believe it's real. The internet forum troll who insists anyone who's lost their virginity or is in a relationship must be a normie, and therefore not a real anime fan. I think you fell for the troll with this. Right? I think it's rather trolling with this. I don't understand the point. If they're being if they're saying this unironically, yeah, that doesn't make any sense. but it seems like the right here might have fallen for a couple of trolls. It happens sometimes. It happens sometimes. The political junkie, I'm not too sure. He jumps at the opportunity to remind enemy fans of different political leaning, what bad people they are, or even worse, because we have seen that some. This is just about anime because I think this is mailing anime a blog, but how some video games or some TTRPGs are not for those pesky right wingers. And I'm like, oh, I thought the people been on the stick, been on the inclusion stick, were about inclusion. I guess not. I guess it's only inclusion when they like it. Many such cases. Too bad. The meme lord who tweets go to jail pictures at Japanese artists who draw teenage characters. I don't think these are meme lords. Mind you, I don't think these are meme lords. Maybe 5 years ago there were. But now I think these are also political junkies. I mean, it's December right now, December 2023. Did I have to mention the whatever lolly controversy this week? It's been happening for years already. And it is bullshit. That's real, it is bullshit. With this one I'm going to blame not only the normies but also the Genshin Impact players. Because I'm going to include here the skin color bullshit. Oh, they're too white. Bitch, do you know about lightning? Lighting? Lightning, what the fuck? Well, lightning too, maybe. Maybe, but only maybe. Still the same brand of malignant gatekeeping based on people wanting to make fandoms super comfortable for themselves and super uncomfortable for anyone who's not exactly like them. True, however, these fandoms were usually super comfortable for some of these groups, and some other people got into it and wanted to change it. That's why they got pushback, or they should have gotten pushback. It is a complex situation, as I say. Not everyone can agree that all of these people are a problem, because the root of the issue behind all of these types of people, these gatekeepers of the second kind, lies more in the fandom's fundamental opposition to gatekeeping than a proliferation of it. The idea that fandom spaces should be inclusive sounds good, and is good. That shouldn't be italics, that should be quote unquote, in my opinion. To a certain level. Okay, on a certain level I agree. Excellent people based on race, gender, politics, sexuality, or how one chooses to interact with media, clearly resulting in a deteriorating trend that splits the fandom into small, usually hostile enclaves, kind of like what we have now. Okay, hold up. How one chooses to interact with the media. What do you mean by this exactly? If you mean how people consume media, yeah, that's fair. But they said interact, so I had to question it. Because once again, interacting with media could also be what I was talking about before, right? Trying to change it. Oh, I don't like it. Oh, this is problematic. So we need to change it. That is technically interacting with the media, and that should be gatekept. Gatekept. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think I can agree with intent, at least. I would need an explanation that. Rush to defeat gatekeeping and promote inclusivity. Inclusivity is a fucking mistake, let's be real. The fandom went too far and made inclusion the only virtue in fandom. True, that's the problem. Everything has to be inclusive. No, fuck it. This paradigm destroys subcultures. True. When the only virtue is inclusivity, everything else must be sacrificed. Eventually, in the essence of culture, its history, or the very core elements the subculture was built around, are saved from the chopping block. Everything gets pared down until the subculture just looks like the same mainstream culture people left behind. Yes, this is gentrification of hobbies, and it's bullshit. That's what I was saying before, right? And you ostracize a bunch of people from quote unquote normal society, so they create their subcultures. Let's say gamers, let's say anime, all that stuff, and then you have normies going into them, trying to ostracize the ostracized people from their ostracized subcultures. You are twice exiled from society. That doesn't make any sense. That is bullshit. That should be avoided. That's why people gatekeep. It only makes sense. I'm not trying to take a stance about immigration, but it's funny that you can make the argument. Yeah, and then everyone wonders why nobody's having fun, because people are fighting because of bullshit reasons. The common thread amongst gatekeepers of the second kind is that the value fandom for them is first and foremost as an extension of themselves and their identities. Which, to some extent, it's true. To some extent, okay? Because they throw here the identity. And then you have the, oh yeah, this character is trans, so it's just like me for real, for real. You're like, I don't know, maybe you shouldn't champion that kind of character. They're outright evil. What are you trying to say here? I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but it is extremely suspect. You know what I'm saying. It's a post collection of otherwise very disparate people brought together by a common appreciation of a niche culture. A little bit of both. I think both make sense here. I think it makes sense. You shouldn't make your whole life about the niche culture, but it is still important for some people. Indeed, some seek to invalidate usual parts of the subculture history to serve their personal agendas. If only you know, it hasn't gotten any better in these past 5 years. Terrible. Political types may denounce certain anime outright for containing story elements they disagree with ideologically. It's even more petty than that nowadays. With more puritanical leanings may ignore the context behind more sexual elements of the medium in favor of decrying them as evil. Bitter moe fans, the misogynist band might cry foul when certain anime studios make anime aimed at female yaoi fans. This seems like a cope. Is this a thing? It's probably a thing. I haven't seen it once again, but you sure not the enemy. In 2013. 2013 though. Yeah, that's a little bit old. You sure not the enemy. Well, it was 2013. They had quite a different connotation from nowadays, maybe. But only maybe. The simplification of gatekeeping has created a myth that the anime community is this big collective of like-minded people with plenty in common. A lot of marketing in the Western industry plays a role in this too. Not only is that not true, it creates situations where people come looking for a teeming crowd of people just like them, only to find that existing in this community means coexisting with many people of different backgrounds, preferences, and ideologies. Which is fair. Once again, having standards is fine. Excuse me. Having standards, it's fine. Pretending everyone to be a bunch of commies just like you, that's bullshit. We have said that so many times. For those to whom fandom exists primarily as a way of seeking personal validation, this level of diversity is a threat. and many are prepared to use social engineering to drive away people who jeopardize that personal validation, all the while eroding the core elements of the subculture. Maybe. I still feel that sometimes they're justified and I need to blow my nose. Give me a second, please. Getting getting quite cold again, so I'm just sniffling. I think it all makes sense. It is December after all. We're here. The gatekeeping is needed most. Looking for narcissists who are willing to throw out the culture's most fundamental building blocks to make the fandom a little bit more comfortable for themselves. To weed out people whose interest in the fandom only extends as far as how they can use it to directly benefit them. To filter out the opportunists who are willing to damage to the community if they stand to gain from it. This is true. This is true. I think this article tries to beat a little bit too much the trad nerds to give them a name. But it's true, it can go both ways. It can go both ways. I guess I see it mostly from people coming from outside that have some sort of agendas, right? You value fandom enough to want to share it with as many people as possible, you should value it enough to close off avenues for abusive, narcissistic people to take advantage of the fandom and the people in it. Free from narcissism, free from bullying, be wary of those with an ideological approach, and those who seem to only have criticisms for the subculture and its community. I mean, having criticism is fair, if you want to make it grow, properly grow. It's important to draw a line, otherwise with a point where people feel justified harassing others for liking the wrong cartoons, or physically assaulting others over charactership differences. Looking at you, Genshin players. Kind of like what we have now, and we haven't gotten any better. A bunch of comments, which is fair. And also, let me look here real fast. Let's bring a bunch of censorship around, which is bullshit. This is from 2019? Holy fuck, I'm old! Why can't I find the article though? News? Oh, because I'm fucking moronic, I don't know how to write. Still I cannot find it. What the fuck? Can I delete it? What the hell? I remember this. I remember reading this. What do you mean? Am I mistaken, perhaps? I could be. Holy fuck. I don't think I am, but... Let's see... Well, we have the censoring of the Conquest Monsters, the new one. This is stupid. What's the thing about censorship in Final Fantasy VIII? I didn't remember reading that in Niche Gamer. Anyway. We have the one from Pikmin, I remember that. Okay. Did I have that one in Niche Gamer? We had this in... whoa. Hold the fuck up. I just saw it. What's wrong with me? My Google full. It's awake. I'm pathetic. Okay, let's see. Game run. I don't look at that. What the fuck? Didn't they just... I don't know. They have a post on Steam community. That might be good enough. Oh, it doesn't work anymore. They cracked down on the links. Unlucky. Reddit? Maybe. An angry gamer. Ooh, they deleted it. That is a little bit silly. Yeah, something from the splintering. If it loads. I have to look first for showing that. It's not loading. That's not good. That's not good at all. It's not good at all, man. I need to see if we have an archive. Oh, fuck me. This looks extremely wrong here. What the fuck? It looks so fucking bad. Can I? Well, there we go. Much better, man. Much better. Much better. Let's see. This is what I was talking about before about the modern audiences, right? We could also talk about ESG and a bunch of bullshit. I don't think it's necessary for this. Okay, this is a little bit cropped. Let me... There we go. For any sensor Final Fantasy VIII Remastered, we have a bunch of comparisons here. You have PS1 to PS4, Siren. You cannot even have a semblance of Bird Pucci. Which, let's be real, you're not seeing anything here. Come on now. Give it yourself up, slut! It's one angry gamer. Which is... Yep, page enough, I like it. We have Renoa. Yeah, she has her Renoas covered a little bit. Yep. And in recent history, this was, what, a couple of months ago? Yeah, September. We have Pikmin 1+2 removes references to gambling, gender language. My fucking god, I think I just broke my sock. I hope not. Oh no. This is way worse. This is way worse. Okay. That was interesting. Anyway. If I noticed that Pikmin 1+2 including updated localization which removed reference to gambling as well as removing several instances of gender language. Pikmin 1+2 is a remaster of the original Pikmin games, including the first two games in the series into a single collection. Blah, 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 blah. We have a comparison here, right? Side to side. You collected the Husband's Tear series, Women Cry with Joy, Men Just Cry at the Price. You've collected the Expensive Sentiment series. Declare your love and bankruptcy all at once. Pretty much the same, huh? You've collected the Space Love series. These designs transcend intergalactic cultural barriers. You've collected the Celestial Vibes series. Vibes, by the way. Rare sources of deep feelings from deep space. Gemster wife to Red Gemster, Gemster husband to Graham Gemster. Love Nugget. This one was quite funny. The sticky red snack isn't quite a fruit, but doesn't seem like a vegetable either. I've analyzed it extensively, and it appears to be releasing stimulating pheromones. Maybe I should feed it to my wife. I can imagine my wife and I cooking this into some memorable meals. Wake, empathetic. At first, this object looked impressive, but closer inspection reveals it's just the cheapest statue. In many ways, it reminds me of my father. I probably shouldn't tell him that. The figure looks like it's a little helpless on its own. Something to think about, I guess. Has nothing to do with that. The statue features an astounding degree of detail. It looks a lot like a present I gave my mom for Mother's Day. I miss her sometimes. Come on, man. This is interesting, right? This is interesting text. The figure looks extravagant, or maybe even regal. Should I bow to it? I don't understand. Spam, I'm so lonely. I want a friend that'll listen to my travels. I want to meet someone like you. Contact me at http www.pikmin.com. That is funny. Spam, that we all want friends who will smile when we need a little sunshine in our day. Sure, if you see friends who need a smile, give them your best one. Nothing to do with that. I think I'm being messed up, darling. I lost a small fortune buying lottery tickets. It was all a nightmare. I'm afraid we're going to leave Ling for a while. I think I messed up, darling. A pickpocket stole a small fortune from me. It's being a nightmare. I'm afraid we're going to have to leave Ling for a while. Why? Just a simple mention of lottery. It is a thing that exists, man. It is so annoying. It is so annoying. But yeah, we see constant water downs of things. Because of stuff like this, I can only say that emulation is important. Because they're going to change stuff. They're going to make it worse. And they're not stopping. They're not stopping, and it is bullshit. But anyway, I have ranted long enough, I feel. So I will take my leave for today. We'll come back on Monday. We need to keep going through Demon Saber Sleuth. We're getting there, This game is getting really interesting, holy shit. Really good stuff, really good stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna go now. I hope you had some fun here with my stupid ass ramblings. And I will see you soon. Take care.